In this video, I'd like to review how the abstract phrase and the condition phrase quite often work together. Many times you'll see them together. So let's look at the condition phrase. That's what I call it. It used to be called the absolute phrase, but that's a really crappy name, so I got rid of it. A condition phrase is an elliptical synthetic word phrase that describes the condition that exists during the action of the sentence's genuine clause. Okay, here's an example sentence. The guards stoned and drunk. The prisoners easily escaped. So here we have the condition phrase. It states the condition that existed at the time of the prisoners escaping. You see the condition. The guards were stoned and drunk. The prisoners weren't. So you see here, the subject of your condition phrase is guards, and the subject of your genuine clause, which you might call an independent clause, is prisoners. Now, we have the abstract phrase. It's kind of one of my innovations. Most people might call it a participle phrase or maybe like a gerund participle phrase or something, but those names aren't so good, so I changed that also. An abstract phrase is an elliptical synthetic word phrase that describes an action completed before the action of the sentence's genuine clause. Here's our example sentence. Having been accepted by the committee, he could now join. So here's your abstract phrase. This is an extended abstract phrase because it has your modifiers and complements and whatnot, right? And the implied subject is he. You don't see it, but the implied subject is he. Now over here in the genuine clause, which you might call an independent clause, the subject clearly is he. All right? So that's the definition of your condition phrase and your abstract phrase. Considering the above definitions, let's revisit the sample condition phrase shown above. The guards stoned and drunk, the prisoners easily escaped. Okay? Now, in the mind, when it was trying to create this sentence here, it was in much greater form. It was in fuller, more comprehensive form. And then it got whittled down until finally the person spoke this sentence, all right? But one of the larger forms, okay, one of the forms that preceded this might have been this. The guards, having been stoned and drunk, the prisoners easily escaped. So if this is the original condition phrase, you see that the abstract phrase is embedded in the condition phrase, okay? We see that in the original structure, we have an abstract phrase embedded within the condition phrase. If we do not omit the words having been, can we satisfy our above definitions? Okay, so if we leave this as it is, all right, before it got refined down to this level, can our definitions be satisfied? Well, the definition for condition phrase is satisfied. The condition of having been stoned and drunk existed during the escaping. Okay? So that definition is satisfied. The definition for abstract phrase is satisfied also. The guards must have gotten drunk before they proceeded to try to continue working while drunk. So you see, both definitions can still be satisfied if you leave the having been in there. If you leave the having been part, then that means you have left the entire abstract phrase in there, all right? We also see that we can remove the words having been, but we cannot remove the phrase's subject, the guards. Okay, let's say we took out the words the guards. Having been stoned and drunk, the prisoners easily escaped. Now this looks like an illogical condition phrase. It appears to be illogical. First, the condition phrase virtually always has a subject that is different from the subject of the genuine clause. As such, the above sentence presents in such a way that most readers might deem the subject to be indeterminate. They might look at this and say, well, what's going on here? Okay, are the prisoners the subject? Well, who's the subject here? All right, because we took the words the guards out. Second, if the prisoners were indeed the subject of the condition phrase, as might be inferred from the phrase itself, and they were indeed stoned and drunk, they likely would not have successfully escaped. So that's about it. It's a real quick video today just to show you that the abstract phrase is quite often embedded inside the condition phrase. And sometimes you'll see it like this with the original phrase having been in there. All right? And if you see that, as long as the subject is clear, you're good to go. And that's it for today. Thanks for being incredibly patient, and we hope to see you soon.